Yeah, you've got a brand new album. It's just about to be released. It's called Underworld. I got lucky enough to get a pre-order, so I've been listening to it quite a lot lately, and it's one of your best albums you've done yet. I'm really impressed. Seems sort of like almost like a best of Symphony X. You know, you've got the heavier stuff from like Paradise Lost era, but you kind of a bit of a throwback to more of your ballads and stuff like that. I guess, how did it go recording the album?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
are you proud of it?
we definitely. Oh yeah, man. I mean, I know the band myself. We're definitely happy with the record, and it is a little bit of everything. You know, there's I mean, that was a conscious decision too. You know, keep some of the heavy stuff real heavy, but also, get back to maybe some of the more melodic things, and some of the progressive stuff. But really try to make the songs, focusing on the songwriting and just the flow of the record. That was a lot of the point of the record too when we started writing. Just trying to really make an album that flowed good and that was diverse. That did have the variety of the real heavy stuff and the melodic stuff, and just trying to make it work. So I hope it did.
Yeah, no, I love the album. Pretty excited to be able to interview you today because I don't often get to talk to people that are proper guitar heroes, and I'm an aspiring guitarist myself, and you're definitely one of the guys that made me want to shred. And I'm just wondering, how did you get started on guitar? I mean, what age did you start, and who were the guys that you looked up to and said, man, I want to be like him?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. The real main guy for me, I mean, when I was growing up, I started playing maybe, 15, 16 or something, and
yeah,
and I was into Priest and Maiden and Sabbath and all the metal stuff, and I think Randy Rhoads, those two Ozzy records, Blizzard and Diary, were that's when I started to become a little more serious, and when I kind of heard those records, and I started to get into those kind of guys, and Uli John Roth and the old Scorpions, and then Yngwie was out, and so man, a lot of those different guys, and and then the more you get into it, I discovered Alan Holdsworth and some of these other players and Sean Lane, and so I think Randy Rhoads was probably the guy who really got me, into that whole guitar playing thing, and it was a good time back then too. I mean, there was so many guys, Paul Gilbert and of course Van Halen and Vi, and so many great players. So those guys were just all a part. What I was listening to and what I was learning, and and always trying to listen to different stuff too. Some maybe more metal stuff, and then there's even some jazzy or fusiony or like Holdsworth or Gumbali and some of these different guys. So yeah, man, there was a lot of dudes, but I think Rhoads was the first one who kind of set me on the path.
Yeah, and when you first started, how many hours a day or week would you say you play, and how many years did it take you to say, oh, I'm a good guitarist now?
Can we ever say that, though? I mean, all of us are always trying to keep going, man, keep trying to improve. But, I don't know. I mean, like when I first started playing, it was, just noodling around, jamming with some guys in the garage, playing some Priest and that. But, once I really started getting into it, I was practicing a lot. I kind of, the normal thing, lock yourself up in the bedroom, and you're slowing down back then, the record, and or the cassette even, or, doing whatever you could to figure out how to do the solos and trying to get them note by note. Yeah, I mean, all the time, hours and hours. And then, a couple of years, you kind of start to develop your own thing. You take in all these different influences and these different players, and I think that's important. I mean, definitely learn as much as you can, but then make it your own. Really try to develop, put them together differently, and do something that's, unique to you, which I think all of us are always trying to do.
Yeah, for sure. I was having a look on YouTube, and there's a few videos where you kind of demonstrate a few of your licks and stuff. I think you did Sea of Lies and Out of the Ashes. They're a few years old. Would you be interested in doing more of those sort of videos, those kind of EMG TV type demonstration videos? Yeah,
I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I wouldn't mind doing a really in-depth series or something, a DVD, or any kind of an instructional thing. I think that would be cool. I mean, it's cool to watch guys play and maybe get a couple licks, but I mean, there's so much more to music, man. There's so much more theory and different things to practice over. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing something like that at some point.
Yeah.
Some kind of more in-depth kind of, obviously technique and guitar playing and improvising, but yeah, theory as well, and there's some other different things. I think I listen to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I think it helps, like doing your own thing. I mean, you have all these other influences and types of music, so yeah, I mean, if I did something, I would like to do that at some point.
Yeah, cool as. You got so many great riffs. I think the one that really blew my mind was the title track, Iconoclast. Just when I heard that riff, it was just like, how the hell is he doing that? It's just crazy. Do you have a favorite riff? And, is there one riff where you're like, wow, that's my Iron Man riff, that's my Master of Puppets kind of thing?
I mean, you're always trying to do with every record, you're trying to pull some out. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple cool ones. I think last album, Dehumanized, was a pretty cool riff and an odd groove and kind of always feels good. And I mean, this new record, there's so many of them. I think there's just a lot of, and I think they don't sound hard.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the things too. It's like, okay, I mean, we still want to write good songs and we still want the riffs to be cool.
Yeah.
But, you don't want to make it so it's, just too complicated or too crazy, and it really doesn't have any flow or any kind of a groove or anything about it. It's trying to think a little more like that. So, I mean, there's a lot on this record that maybe at first glance they don't seem that difficult. And the solos as well. Trying to make the solos have some phrasing, but maybe throwing in a little thing that's a little tricky and it kind of goes by.
Yeah.
But yeah, this record definitely, there's a lot of riffs I really like. The whole Nevermore riff. I mean, the whole song is a friggin' riff.
Yeah.
It's nonstop, I think in the arrangement it all works. It doesn't sound like the guitar is too busy or out of place. I think it all works, and that's just going back to theory and arranging the song and picking those parts out and making them work. So yeah, that'd probably be my favorite, that one, because it is like, it's 16th notes pretty much for the friggin' whole song.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of shredders out there on YouTube, and I really like their stuff, but I almost feel like they overkill it sometimes, especially I love Michelangelo Badio, but some of his songs I'm just slow down a second. Is it hard for you to, slow down when you can play that fast all the time? Is it difficult to just sit back and, let the bass player do his thing for a while and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think over time, I mean, with us, it's becoming more, I mean, the last few records, I mean, it always is about what's right for the song. And, man, I mean, as a guitar player or bass or drummer, I mean, you want to, do some crazy stuff and have some fun and shred and everything. But, yeah, man, you just got to kind of pick the places where it's the most effective, and don't forget about phrasing and vibrato and all the other things you can do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if it's just, an onslaught of shred, it's just like, okay, but what are you really saying, So,
yeah.
And a lot of the guys I like, they do have the phrasing, like Sean Lane, one of my favorite, he was amazing, man, and, he could shred like no one's business, but he had great phrasing, and on slow stuff, he could play, with great vibrato. I mean, a lot of the guys I like are like that. I think Rhodes was responsible for that.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, he always had good phrasing. Maybe this part was tapping, this was picking. There was some double stops here. There was a nice little bending phrase. And, yeah, I think mixing it up is the way to go.
For sure. I actually talked to Russell Allen last week, and was saying that you guys have never been to Australia, and I thought you must have at some point, but I Googled it.
No.
It's crazy because I'd love to see you guys. One of my favorite bands. I think it'd be great to see you down here. You got any plans? I already asked him. He said maybe, but is it something you'd be excited to do?
Yeah, no, I mean, we would love to. I mean, we always try to get to as many places as we can, but, there's always schedules and there's always conflicts and all this, but, I mean, this record's done. We put a lot of time into this thing, so now it's time to really just, get everywhere we can. So if there's some interest for us to play there, I mean, we'll be there, dude.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
that'd be awesome.
We'll make it a point. You know, we'll make it a point.
Yeah, you've got so many albums, and your style's changed over the years. I think I've probably been listening for about 10 years. Was it Tragic Wings of? Sorry.
Oh yeah, Divine Wings, right?
Divine Wings. Why am I saying tragic? Yeah, the Divine Wings of Tragedy. That's probably the album that got me, and I love See You Live and stuff. It changed a lot over the years. Paradise Lost was another album I really liked. But is it possible for you to pick a favorite album, or do you have many?
Oh, it's always a new record, dude. It
Yeah.
always is. I mean, but I got favorites, but I think it depends. You know, like you said, I mean, every album, I don't know if we really change, but we do try to make each album different. So it's like, you know, maybe the Odyssey. Yeah, Odyssey was kind of heavy, but it had the Odyssey track. It's more progressive.
Yeah.
Or it's more epic, you know, that epic 20-minute track, and that's great for what that is, and I love it. You know, Paradise Lost was just a little more heavy. Iconoclast, you know, we were just going for this man versus machine kind of a theme, so obviously the music was a little more aggressive, man, a little more relentless, you know, and this record is, you know, a little bit of all those things, and even a lot of stuff that we might have done on Divine Wings. So, yeah, I mean, I think we're always trying to do something a little different every time. You know, I don't know if we've changed that much. Maybe some of the newer stuff's a little more heavy, but I think this new record has a little bit of everything. There is some of that stuff that will, like the fans of maybe Divine Wings or some of those albums will find those pieces. They're definitely in there, and they're in there on purpose, you know, for thinking of the fans and, you know, trying to do something that there's something for everybody. And there's plenty of heavy stuff for the people who like Iconoclast and Paradise Lost. So there's, I mean, this one, like we were saying, man, it was all about the variety and the balance of everything. So this one, of course, now it's my favorite.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention your song, The Odyssey, being such a long song. Do you think you'll ever want to do, you know, ambitious 20-minute songs again, or was that just a younger Michael Romeo wanting to, you know, show all his skills on one short song?
No. I think given the right, you know, man, given like the right idea or story or whatever it is, then that would be cool. You know, it's just finding that cool thing that's like, okay, you know, we could do something. Yeah, and I'm sure we will, you know. Like I said, you know, we're always trying to improve the songwriting, and, you know, I'm still always studying the orchestration and arranging and composing, so it's like I think it would just be even better, the next one. But it's just, you know, if the time is right, if it's the right topic, you know, it's hard to predict the future, but, there's no reason why we wouldn't, you know, at some point.
Cool, lads.
And those are great, man. Those things are a lot of fun, too, man. You just get in there and you're telling this story, and you're just building the music around it. I mean, that's always a lot of fun.
It'd be hard to play live, but you've got so many riffs in one song, it'd be hard to remember them all, wouldn't it?
No, we played it live many times, and, I mean, you know, you kind of wrote it, so you kind of know. You know, obviously, you got to rehearse the hell out of it, get it smooth. But I mean, it's not. I guess it's not as hard as it would seem.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I'll just ask you one more question. Do you have any more music goals? I mean, you've accomplished a lot with Symphony X. You've, you know, shown, you know, a very dynamic band. You've done all kinds of styles. But is there any kind of music that you'd like to do? Maybe, you know, do what Yngwie Malmsteen did and did a concert with a Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra or something like that?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the classical stuff I like is a little more modern. Yeah. You know, as opposed to like Bach and that kind of stuff. I mean, I still love that, but, you know, I'm a big Stravinsky fan, and, you know, some of that kind of stuff. And music I love. I love, like, all the John Williams and Star Wars and, you know, just those big, grand Hollywood things. So, I mean, maybe I would do something more like that, you know. But, I'm always writing. I'm always doing my thing. And, who knows? I'm always kicking around the idea for a solo record, but, you know, just trying to find the time to really put into it. So, I don't know, maybe next year or something I could pull something together, and it would probably be a lot of different things. You know, there'd definitely be a lot of guitar playing and maybe some kind of other cinematic thing. And who the hell knows? You know, who knows?
Either way, I'm sure.
But I think
awesome.
the band's gonna have a pretty busy schedule over the next couple of years. So, but we'll see, man. We'll see. It's always something on my mind.
Yeah, man. Well, if you ever come to Australia, I'm in Brisbane, so I'll be up the front row. I'll be taking photos of your show and maybe afterwards and have a beer or something.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, man. I'm there, and we're gonna make it happen. There's no question. We really, there's a lot of places we need to get to, and Australia's definitely one of them, man. So.
Yeah, I'd love to see like the Soundwave Festival or something next year. I know they're bringing over a lot of bands that don't normally get to do a headlining tour, but I'm sure you could do that as well.
I mean, we're open for whatever comes our way, man.